ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಾವೇರಿ ಮಹಂತೇಶ್ ಮೇಲಿಮನಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಪನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರೇಕ್ಷಾ. ಪಾಪುಗೆ 6 ದಿನ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ 6 ದಿನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೇ ಇತ್ತು. 6 ದಿನ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಂಡೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಇರೋ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೂ ಪಾಪುಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪವನ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರ್ ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರ ಚೆಕಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೂ ಪಾಪುಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲ್ ಅಂತಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಗೆ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಈ ಥರ ಪಾಪುಗೆ 6 ದಿನ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಂಡೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ವೇಟು ಹಾಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಬಂತು, ವೇಟೇ ಇದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪುಗೆ. ಇದು ಲಿವರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಲಿವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಆವಾಗೇ ನಾವು ಪಾಪುಗೆ ಲಿವರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಆವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ಲಿವರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಗೆ ಓಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು.
ಈಗ ಲಿವರ್ ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಭಾಳ ಒಂದು 20% ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಅದು ಮಗುನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ 2 ತಿಂಗಳಾಯಿತು ಆಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುಣ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನಾವು ಆರಾಮಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಗೂ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್, ನಾರಾಯಣ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗೂ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Raghavendra, consultant liver transplant surgeon at Narayana Health City, Bangalore. Today I just want to share our success story and the happy story of our child which we operated few months back. The child came in at the month of 3 months age when she was referred from one of the paediatricians from local Bijapur, and she was identified to have a biliary atresia. So initially when they turned up, it was almost around nearly close to 3 months, and we gave the options of either considering Kasai's portoenterostomy, which is a biliary passage which is done in case of biliary atresia, or a liver transplantation, which will be a one-shot solution in case of a progressive biliary atresia. So the family was lost for follow-up after a few days, and then subsequently they appeared by almost by around 4.5 to 5th month when they decided for liver transplantation. So we did the workup of the father and the child. Father was found to be a suitable donor, and the transplant was done in the month of May, and now it is in the month of August. They are going back after a complete evaluation of in the post-operative period, where the liver function test, everything has been found to be completely okay. And she was there in the hospital for a few days, around nearly for 2 weeks. And subsequently, once she was completely okay, we discharged her by around end of 2 weeks. So she was under post-operative follow-up for the subsequent next another 2 to 3 weeks. And now they are good enough to go back to their village and start a new living. The main emphasis why we had to share this success story is the grit and the strength the family has and the child has to undergo the transplantation and to overcome this major surgery of a transplantation. The financial issues were the first thing which we had to address, because at that point of time the family came in saying that we don't have much of the resources to go ahead with the transplantation. So we had to go through one of the government scheme under the BPL, the below poverty line scheme. Subsequently, we had to just even fundraise under the ImpactGuru. So my sincere thanks to both the sectors. The ImpactGuru, they were able to offer a generous amount of nearly around 5.5 lakhs, and the rest of the amount was adjusted with the BPL scheme. And literally the baby underwent the transplantation without not much of anything else which was spent from their end. Whatever the amount which was spent was for the investigations and for the post-operative follow-up. So that is an incredible success story which I would like to share across with the people. And this has been very much possible other kids who are suffering from a liver disease or any adults who have been suffering from a liver disease. So with the government schemes and with the NGO organization being funding, we can just make a huge difference in treating those patients. Okay, coming to the transplantation of this child, the child was underweight initially to start with. Child was almost initially when she came for the first follow-up, she was almost around 3 kgs. She was around 2.5 kgs at birth, and subsequently in the next 3 to 4 months she had just put another 0.5 kgs, which was below our required estimated weight. Subsequently we just allowed her to put on weight, and meanwhile they had to make some arrangements with respect to the finances also, and there was a delay in their decision making for a liver transplantation. By the time when we took a decision to go ahead with the transplantation, she was nearly around 4.5 kgs. When we took her for the surgery, it was almost around nearly 5 kgs. Subsequently, the surgery, we scheduled it and it was done in the month of May. And the surgery was never an easy one to go ahead. So the tiny vessels and the tiny structures, it makes it even more difficult in the babies. So we had to put on the left lateral segment of the donor, which had been implanted and transplanted to the child with a biliary atresia. The surgery lasted for almost around 14 hours. Not much of a blood transfusion was required during the surgery. Subsequently, the child was shifted on to the pediatric ICU. I had to extend a wholehearted thanks to our PICU team from Dr. Anil Sapare and Dr. Sagar Hirimat for their extended supports and all their fellows. And the rest of the other thing is the whole team of ours, the liver transplantation, the whole team came forward, and it was a teamwork which made it a big success. And more important is about the financial arrangements from the ImpactGuru and even from the government scheme. So Priya was very much instrumental with the BPL scheme in getting it through, and wholehearted thanks to all of them who are behind this success story. So essentially, after the nearly around 3 weeks of post-operative follow-up, now they are good enough to go back to their village, and this is a success story which we want to share because it is of multiple things which we need to learn and share across. One is the grit and the strength and the determination of the family to overcome the issues, because normally in a kid of this age, many parents may forego and say that we don't require a transplantation, we'll try for another child. But in this case, the family stood behind the child and they took a major decision to undergo a liver transplantation, and they went ahead with the liver transplantation as a single shot rather than not with the Kasai's portoenterostomy. The second thing is about the finances, which we got it from support from the multiple organizations. A huge thanks for everyone. The whole of the PICU team who gave their extended wholehearted support, and our whole team of doctors who have been behind in treating this child. So a big thanks to everyone.